Hello, hello everybody. All right, well hopefully all the signals are a go here. I've got the subtitles going. Hopefully they are actually going. We'll find out. Hello, just right. Hey, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. I know I keep threatening to cut my hair off. Look how long this is getting. Crazy cakes. Keep threatening to cut my hair off, and one of these days I'll actually get around to it. I have to, call somebody, make an appointment, all those details. So, yeah, haven't gotten around to it, as you do. Okay, so, well, hello and welcome everybody. We are here on Heart of a Hobbit on the official Lotro Twitch stream channel. And I know, right? Just right. I hate getting haircuts. I do too, actually. And we moved like a little over a year ago. And I don't, I could go back to my previous hair cutter, but she was closed down for a while because she's got, immune concerns. And so she was closed, and I was like, well, then I can probably just find somebody here. And then I haven't. And then I thought I did, but then every time I talk to them, because they're at the mall, it's not a mall, but it's like a mall. It's by the grocery store. And so every time I talk to them, I don't know, I've talked to them twice, and I'm like, I don't know, it's not exactly what I'm looking for. So maybe they're just not giving me the answers I want, because I want my hair to be long enough so it can get donated. That's the answer I want. And they're not giving me that answer. And so there's a person who cuts hair out of their house. Like, that would make sense, because then I'd have the same person every time, which is what I like. And yeah, I know, like Before's over there nodding his head going, I know this is what you like. So one of these days I will just call this person, because they don't have like an email on their website, so I'll have to call them. Bleh. So how are the kitties? They are doing well. Let's see, Casper, the more shy one, is currently lying down over by the window on a chair. There's a chair, like just one of our cheap IKEA chairs that we've had for the dining table. And sometimes they get a little bit too far back, because it's just like a metal, thing. And so you bend it too much, and then the chair leans back too much. So, yes, we put it by the door, by the back door, and the cats seem to almost, I wouldn't say fight over it per se, but there definitely seems to be a king of the hill kind of thing going on. And it's so cute, because sometimes one will be on top and the other one will be lying on the ground underneath it, because they get really good sun there and they like that a lot. Kato has just been here, and 15 minutes before it started, she got up, because she's been sleeping here for at least an hour or two. And then she, of course, right as we're getting ready to stream, she gets up and wanders off. So, so they're doing great. She's been really sweet. She slept with me last night, actually, like on me. She was on me when I fell asleep, and I know she got up at one point, but then she was back on me when I woke up. So, which is unusual, because, she worries about getting bumped and knocked and stuff in the bed. So that was, feels like that's progress. I'm pretty happy about that. So hopefully she'll come back, and if not, we'll maybe tempt them with some treats. If not during my stream, then definitely during Before stream, because I can go and put treats in the little tower and watch them play. That's always fun. Thanks for asking. I could talk about the cats all day, so I probably should do some Lotro as well. Okay, speaking of Lotro, we are in No Bottle currently, which is in the, you want to share a quest with me? Okay, thanks. Why, thank you. An unconventional catch. Cool. So let me pull up the map. That's what I was doing. So we're up here in No Bottle, and Yondershire is a new area, newish, I don't know, like 9 months ago now, I suppose, that was opened up. So when Lotro first started 15 years ago, you had all of this Eriador area to play around with, but they've been opening some little bits and pieces within Eriador over time. So I think Forhel was not in the original opening, but came soon after. And then Yondershire, though, is pretty recent. That's within the last year. And it is a low-level area, somewhat akin to Hobbiton. I think it's And so anyway, so it's north, or akin to the Shire. And it's north of the Shire. So the Shire is right here. And you can get to the Yondershire from the Shire. I think there might be, there's that bridge up in Needle Hole. There's a bridge that is open now to get you to Yondershire. Where else can you get here? Oh, through Avondim. Apparently you can get here through Avondim now. There it says to Yondershire. I'm not sure exactly, but it exists. And oh yeah, Erdluin does. Okay, yeah, through that. If you come out Dooland and you're going like by the Elven housing, it's that direction. So these are all a couple of different ways you can get into this area called the Yondershire. And when you first start, it's like we came up from the Shire, and so we've been doing quests like around this area, and then it slowly kind of sends you off over to here, and then like over here, and then up here, and stuff like that. So we got partway through here, and then got distracted and been doing a bunch of other things. So I am going to, I'm going to take my quest log here, and I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to click remove all, because I want to go to my quest log and just pick Yondershire stuff. Wow, we have a lot of Yondershire stuff to do. And it's all level 20. Most of it's level 20.
Track nearby.
Oh, I can do that too. All right, let me give that a shot. So if I click on the radar, right click on the radar, and track nearby quests, it should pick up, there we go. So there's 5 of them that it thinks are nearby to where we are. So we'll give that a go. And let's see, so we've got something just south of us, and then we've got something over in Tyfield, and then we've got 3 up in Gamwich. So my guess is that whatever we've got here in No Bottle, maybe it's like delivering the post or something. Should we go check it out? You want to follow me? Yeah. All right, so yes, we're gonna go south and figure out what is this thing. So No Bottle is kind of a, oh, I just jumped over a fence, sorry. No Bottle is kind of a, I don't know, like a hub of sorts around here. Oh, do I need to go in this door? Is that what's going on? Hi. What's happening in here? Look at these cute little houses. So it's basically a chance for them to do more Shire stuff, right? Or Shire-esque stuff. And it even has like Shire music and stuff. Oh, Priska's in here. Oh, this is the Bingo Boffin line, maybe. Angelica is very upset that her big day has been spoiled. If you know anything about this, I expect you to fix it. I do know about this, but we're not talking. But I don't know where I'm supposed to go to fix this. Okay, so maybe that was just the ring in here was just a reminder, like, hey, don't forget your bingo boffining. So yeah, it's kind of cool that there is a bingo boffin quest chain that happens out here in No Bottle. But I think what I want to do is take that off for now. So let me see. Let's talk to Camellia on Honeymead Lane and complete hiding the evidence. I think we're going to skip Priska's Perturbed for the moment. We'll come back to that. So that way we can do all bingo together, like all at once, maybe. A deal go wrong. Let's do that.
Hiding the evidence.
Sure. But that's still a Boffin thing. That's still a Bingo Boffin part of the quest line. It's part of the Bingo Boffin quest line. Oh, but we've got a deal gone wrong, which looks like it's part of some wrapper, a looming threat. We need to finish a deal gone wrong and the bounty hunter of something. So let's work on those. Yeah. Okay. So there we go. We've picked a couple of things to work on. All right. So let's find out where those are on the map. A deal gone wrong. Where's that? Whoa, they're all sending me up into Lungobel. Oh, that is kind of where we stopped, isn't it?
Sounds great.
Okay, well, let's swing by Tyfield on the way. Because we've got a ring there. We do have stable masters around here, though. Let's see, we did go and check in with a bunch of the stable masters in Yondershire. Let's see where this one will take us. Hey, stable master. Where are you going?
Hello there.
Tyfield? Okay. Tyfield, swift travel. Oh, 5 silver? That ain't so bad. Oh yeah, because we're in early area. So yeah, so when they added Yondershire, even though they added it recently, like 9 months ago, maybe? Seems about right. It's still because geographically it's near other low-level things. And so they made it so that it's not too scary for, people of like around level 20 or so. All right, so yeah, we've got a ring over here. What's this guy got going on? So we've had all these quests that we were doing, and we kind of we're a little scattered. All right, so this guy, Diamond's Grand Plan. Somebody's sending us for rope. And he says, well, you've come to the right place, but this is sadly the wrong time. It will take me some time to get your order together. If you want the rope today, I'll need you to take on some of the tasks that I had planned, or I'll fall behind in my work. You still want the rope? Okay. Firstly, my supply of flax is too low, and my next delivery is not until tomorrow, the morrow. So go gather some flax from the fields north of Bree. North of Bree? Did you say Bree? I'm sorry, excuse me, sir. Did you say Bree? No, okay. Found growing in the farms of northern Tyfield. I didn't think so. Excuse me, Sir Hobbit. He did not just say Bree. He did not. Why do I have... Oh, postman. There is also a post delivery, but we will do that later. I like doing them all at once. Well, we can do them all at once with this, because it's... Yondershire is a significantly sized area, but it's still small enough that we can do a whole bunch of stuff at once, I think. Hello. I have been informed that another one of the Kinneys is watching. Yes, it is amazing, this internet thing. It's insane. Yay. So for those of you who are new to the stream or just checking in, we are on the Treebeard server. I have that listed up at the top there, which is a, you're all flaxed up. I am too. All right, let's do it. Which is a legendary server. Legendary servers are a little bit different than the standard Lotro servers that you see out there. One of the big differences is that we don't start with everything in the whole world that's been released up to this point. We start with basically where Lotro started, and then over time they add a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. So currently we are 2 expansions in from the beginning. So we, if we zoom back out again, we got Eriador first. That was like the big opening. And then our first expansion, they got us into Moria and out here into Lothlorien. And then the second expansion that we're in now gets us into like Lower Ravanian. It's the Mirkwood. It's it gets us into Mirkwood and also into Enedwaith. So we've been running around there lately, but we're gonna come back to Yondershire today because we started this checking out Yondershire, and then we put it aside. I asked to put it aside for a while, and now it's the time, I think. So, all right. So he's very happy with the flax. If you ever give up this adventuring life of yours, you could make a fine farmer. That's really cute. It's even funnier on the Treebeard server because I have one character or more of each of the different classes. So like a hunter, a guardian, a warden, etc. And some of them I got to level 50 by farming. So that's even funnier. Okay, so he says, some animal wandered into the rope walk and chewed up my top and other wooden items I used to make rope. The top is a piece of wood with grooves cut into it, you see. It's essential for weaving strands of yarn into rope. And you had best believe it will not produce the same quality with the grooves all chewed up. That's fair. I know a little bit about yarn. I haven't actually woven any yarn myself, but I have like yarn projects going on a regular basis. So here's the yarn that I'm working with, and it's so pretty, and it's really super soft, which is awesome. And it has like a slight color change variation as you go along with it, so that's kind of fun. And the current project I have, is this, which is, that's the right side. And I'm working on a scarf. So, and I keep changing what I want to do. So I started off with like a diamond pattern, and then I did kind of like a waffle pattern. And now I'm doing kind of like a solid, and then some holes, and then solid, and then some holes, and that kind of thing. I mean, I'm getting this off of other people's suggestions, like, yeah, but there we go. So it's coming along. So yes, I haven't tried to weave any yarn myself, but I do know a little bit about those spindly things, and I can't imagine having it be all chunked up. That wouldn't work very well at all. Okay, so he wants us to go into the forest and find some freshly fallen wood. No need to cut anything down. We had a beast of a storm come through a few nights back and knocked all manner of trees that were otherwise healthy. Aw. Find a fine piece of wood for me that's not too dried out, rotted, or fragile. Bring that to me, and I'll trade you for the rope. I can probably do that. I've known a piece of wood or two in my time. Shall we go look for wood? Thinking that one might not count for what he wants, but I will take it because I'm an explorer. So I can pick up wood and ore. Can't do scholar stuff. That's the one thing I can't get. But hey, there's some more. Although U branches, these are pretty low level stuff. I should probably not stop for every U branch. Tier 3. It is tier 3?
Yeah.
Wow.
Rich iron's tier 3.
Huh. Okay. So we're in a tier 3 area. Oh, thanks, Just Right. She says, pretty. It is slowly coming along. The Dutch classes that we're taking are keeping me busy. But let's see. Oh, do we need more wood or is that enough? It says collect a fine piece of wood. Apparently that one didn't count for me.
Oh, can we both use the same one?
I don't know. Let me try it. This tree is old and brittle.
Okay.
So probably
Not all of
we got to find a good one. This tree is old and brittle. How about that one? Old and brittle. I like the Yondershire. It's got that like Hobbity music too, which is nice. It's very relaxing music. So maybe I should find more excuses to hang out in Yondershire.
I found it.
Hey, we found a nice piece of wood. Rock on. Hey, get it? Rock? Because you found some iron. All right, so now we got to bring the wood down to Anson. So thank you. Thank you for saying that that was pretty. I'm really enjoying how the color kind of changes just a little bit as I'm going along. And the yarn just is turning out to be so amazingly soft. And it reminds me of a blanket that my my grandmother, my dad's mom, made for me when I was a baby, I would guess, because I had it, like I've had it for as long as I can remember. Like I don't remember ever not having it. And that blanket does have a few, you know, parts that are coming apart. So this could be a nice tactile replacement for it, as it were. He says, you return. Why, yes, this is a fine piece of wood indeed. Very well, you have fulfilled my request and helped me out a great deal. Thank you. Here is the rope Diamond requested. All right. I probably have to pick it up. Don't forget to pick up the spool of rope standing by your feet there. You'll be very sad if you're like, I gotta go back to Tyfield for that. All right, well, what is that?
Shall we ride off into the wilds?
Yeah, let's go riding away. So let's see. Trumpet Monkey asks, when are Hobbit Lore Masters going to be available, please? I wish I knew. So just in case you or anybody else is not aware, most of us that stream on this channel are just fans. That we enjoy playing Lord of the Rings online. You know, we go out of our way to help out if there's something that happens, but like we've done some of the charity streams and things like that. But we are not SSG employees, we're just volunteers. So I don't have any like insider knowledge, and usually that's the sort of thing that like when Cord was doing his weekly streams, I'd be like, oh, you know, and I'd write it down, and like I got to the point where I do like a kind of a live reporting in our kinship Discord when I'm when we're watching Cord, so I would go back and like refer to those notes. And in fact, one time I was asking Cord about something, and he says, "Well, something, something," and I was like, "Well, so you said this," so I was just following up on that. And he's like, "Did I say that?" I was like, and I quoted him from the notes I had. It was really funny. So okay, so Yondershire. Where is Yondershire? Yes, this is Yondershire. It is a new world location in that. Gosh, how long ago is it? I mean, I keep saying about 9 months. I'm guessing that is roughly about right. So it is north of the Shire. So you see here Yondershire on the map. It's north of the Shire, just to the side of Ered Luin, and the other side, it's just underneath Avendim. So it really filled in that space in there. So when you look at it, you see it kind of takes in. So you can see to Avendim is that way. There is a road. I'm not sure where it comes out. I can't remember where it comes out. The Shire is down here, and then Ered Luin is out that way. So this basically became that road that, remember how you used to get like to the top of the Shire at Needlehole, and then you'd kind of go through a portal and you're like, shoop. That's no longer, shoop. You actually travel the road now. There is all of this that you can travel now. So yeah. So Yondershire is nice and big. It's a low-level area. Like the quests that we're doing are 20 to, I think it's 20 to 25. It might be 18. It might be starting as low as 15 or 18 or so. It's right in that area. So the idea is that it's another alternative to low-level leveling area. Yeah. Is it a natural progression after you start in the Shire? There is a vector quest. I can't remember who it is. No, that's not right. There's somebody who does send you up. Golly, I don't remember who it was now.
It's been 6 months.
It's been a while. Yeah, actually, I'm going to scooch off and let you do all the work for a minute. Because I'm going to look at my Yondershire completed quests. Maybe it's there. So, Honeymead Lane. Go ahead with Dino. Oh, here we go. A visit to Yondershire. I'm on my way to Yondershire to welcome my cousin Priska's daughter. Oh, that is a new Bingo Boffin quest line. So that is also a vector, but I swear there was. Darn it, I do not remember. Might have to look at the Lotra wiki. Because I do know that there was somebody that we ran into. We had to go and find them because we had done all the quests in the Shire. But by the time that that the Yondershire opened, to Yondershire maybe? There we go. If you're heading west, you may want to rest a while in Yondershire. The Bounders there can be found patrolling the western edge of the Shire proper. Talk to Salga Greengrass in the village of No Bottle, and Frother Took in the hamlet of Tyfield. So there we go. So there's a bestow quest. Where did this come from? Well, that's hilarious. I can't get it to show me where that came from.
What's the name of the quest?
To Yondershire. Before he's going to check in the wiki for me, I think. Yeah. So that we definitely ran into a vector quest. And then also, as you go... Vector from Needlehole, says Agarther. Okay, so pop up to Needlehole at some point. There should be somebody there who can give you the vector quest. And then as you're walking up that road, you'll run into Bingo Boffin, and he'll give you his beginning of that sequence of quests also. Because I remember we did that, and that was like somewhere up by the gate, I think. I think it is by, maybe just north of the Rush Shop gate there. Okay, cool. Before I found it, Bounder Chub in Needlehole, or Hildefrons Took the Second on the Eastway, and I'm pretty sure the Eastway is going to be this one that comes in from Ered Luin over here. So that would be the one. Did they expand the map to the Sundering Seas shoreline? Sundering Seas is out here, yeah? So we are not there. No, we still, Ered Luin just covers to the mountains, basically. Like Ered Luin is really, Thorns Hall is the top of that. It's right there. And there's, Yeah, there's more map than we have explored yet. It's really cool though because oh thanks, got Beast Slayer of Yondershire. They do keep adding in more places. In fact, okay, so this came up before, and sorry, I'm gonna run back to the question that that you had earlier about Hobbit lore masters. That yeah. What SSG has said is their plan is with release 33.2, which is planned sometime in September. They're going to expand the classes that are available to more races. So dwarfs and stout axes can be hobbits and wardens. Elves and high elves can become burglars. Hobbits can become lore masters and champions. And humans can become rune keepers. So sometime in the next, 3 weeks, because like that is September. I can't remember if it's going to be with that or if it's going to be an expansion of its own, like if it's going to be 34. But they've already mentioned that they are adding in, gosh, where was it? It's down here. Oh yeah, so it's Eriador. What is it called? I forget what the areas are called, but there's like 2 areas that they're adding, and this comes out of the lore. And they're like down here, like where the Brandywine and the South Road and thank you, Egg Arthur. See, it's great having other people with brain. Swanfleet and Cardalon, and you can look up and get some history on that. But basically, we're talking before the Shadow, as it were. That's the name of the expansion. Sorry, the name of the expansion that's coming out is Before the Shadow, and I'm actually wearing a T-shirt that has some of the art that is part of it, because we got to meet some of the SSG people when they were in Germany at an event recently, and they had shirts made up, so I got to have a shirt. And here, so it's let me hold up the shirt so you can see it better. So the shirt has the Nazgul Prime riding through the mists, and then the back of it has it says Lord of the Rings Online, and then at the bottom it says Before the Shadow. So pretty dang cool. We actually will be giving away some of these shirts at some point. I want to make sure I do it like when people are forewarned, so I don't want anybody to miss out. And I have been too busy to forewarn people. So hey, it looks like we have a quest to drop off here, so let's do that while we're here. An unlucky adventurer. He says, I didn't think anyone would come this far north to rescue me. The goblins ambushed me and took my backpack. Don't think it would be very smart to try fighting back, so here I am. All right, so he says, I can get out just fine once you untie me, but you've got to search my backpack. It has my lucky 4-leaf clover. I don't think it was very lucky. He says, as long as I have my clover, everything will be fine. The goblins dragged my backpack off to who knows where, though I suspect they didn't take it very far. I'll wait for you outside the ruins. Okay. Oh, he's got another one. Oh, we're untying him. Aha. Did that work for you? Excellent. I didn't realize we were doing that, so hey. All right, free dour hands from the goblins. Okay, let's do this. Let's free him too. Okay, go, go, go. See if we can time our timing bars. Yeah? Sweet. So we had a whole bunch of people that were like, there's trouble up here. Can you go and poke around? And so poking we are. Shall we untie this dwarf?
Yeah.
Cool, let's do it. Yes, I see this chat. Awesome. I will catch up with y'all here in a minute. I don't want to miss out on this dwarf action, you know? It's very important. It's like Dr. Horrible. I'm texting. It's very important or I would stop. Ready? Go. Let's go ahead and clear that. Ah, working on Beast Slayer Advanced for Yondershire. Awesome. Your phone is not muted. Let's see. The food and pipe weave have been scattered across the ground and ruined. Aww. That's sad. Oops. Hang on. All right, ready? But I think his backpack is nearby. I don't know. Oh, here's his backpack. Here, let me check, make sure I'm on high graphics, because my computer can handle it. And let's make sure I'm there. Okay, and then I'm going to turn off post-processing effects, though, because I don't like them.
Just leave them on right now.
What? Leave them on for right now? Yeah, okay, I'll put them back.
You're not doing any drunk effects right now.
Okay, I'll just leave it. Okay. That's true, we're not doing any drunk effects or anything. Oh. Weird. Our sound setting, my sound settings and visual settings seems like they're slightly off today. Or different. Not off, just different. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, so let's see. We talked about Yondershire. We talked about the new things. Oh, thanks, before for putting the Yondershire link in there. That's awesome. Yes, so progression after you start the Shire. You had no idea. Well, it is, like I said, it is reasonably new. So, oh, hey, we spotted a crude banner emblazoned with a red crown banner of Angmar. Bum, bum, bum. Let's take a look at that. We inspect the banner and a harsh voice rings out from the tower above you. Hey, bud, what's up? Yeah, right? Hello. Well, let me talk to him. I talked to him with my club. He falls defeated. You won't stop us, he says. Well, I don't know who us is, but we'll try. Hey, I feel a kitty cat. Hi, sweetie. This is Kato, everybody. She is about 8 years old. I like the idea of just deciding that their birthdays are on the adoption date. We just adopted them back in, hi. She's laying down across my lap now. Eventually, at some point, you might be able to see her paw come up, because sometimes she does that where she's like reaching up. But all right, at least I can still move my mouse. Yes, I can, although not very quickly. All right, so Reginald's face falls when he weighs the backpack in his hands. I suppose the goblins weren't very fond of my things. It's just a few spice containers left. Wait, where's my lucky clover? I can't go back without it. The clover was a gift from... Bum, bum, bum. He takes several deep breaths and shakily breathes to steady himself. Not much I could do about this, right? Can't comb the entire place for a single clover. This will just be a minor setback in my adventure. Yes, that's it. Why don't I cook you a meal back at camp? It's only proper after everything you did. I'll meet you there. I need to take this walk alone. Wah, wah. He's so sad. I think my camera probably just moved because she pushed up against me and the table and pushed the table. So, okay, yes, so there's more expansion of the map coming soon. They're going to expand out into the areas called Swan, Fleet, and Cardalon. And yes, the idea is that from a time perspective, going through those parts of the land will be during the time that Boromir was on his way up to Rivendell, and you know where they, so you know, yes, coming up from Gondor. Hey, there's gold. There's gold in them hills. I'll stop for it. It's always worth stopping for gold. Yeah, so the idea is that he's coming up from Gondor and probably went around through Rohan. I don't actually remember how he got there. And up through Enidway, so out this way, perhaps. So over here.
Spreading the mountains through Dunman, Enidway.
So, yeah. So south, right? Oh yeah, because he talks about how he went through, and it wasn't a problem. Like, why can't we go that way? And they're like, it's a problem now, and yeah. So. Yeah, okay, yeah, so we came around and then up to Rivendell. So this area is the area that you'll be questing in and that Boromir would have passed through. So it's during that time frame that he is on his way to Rivendell, but he hasn't arrived yet, before, you know, the Fellowship is created and all of that. So I think that's really awesome, that because they really want to provide more options for leveling and fill in some of the map, and there's storyline to be told, and like there's so much that in fact, if I were working at SSG, I would be overwhelmed because there's just so much story you could tell. Like, how do you make these decisions, right? How do you choose? That would be hard for me to choose. I mean, although I might be like, all hobbits all the time. And then the hobbits went here. I would have a bingo adventure like everywhere. Oh, and Bill the Pony. We'd have to have some Bill the Pony happening. Although his life wasn't very good before the Hobbits, so maybe I would like, well, but you might have like some how did Bill the Pony end up with Bill Fernie? So maybe like some pre-Fernie time where Bill the Pony was wild and free. I bet he was never wild and free, but we could pretend. So Egg Arthur says, from what they've said, you can do those areas right after the intro all the way up to level 32. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. That the new places, Swanfleet and Cardalon, are supposed to have a much wider range. And there might be something in there about, I don't know how they're working it, actually. Every so often, Severlin, who's the executive producer, will do like an interview and he drops a few hints or, gives us some more details. But the thing in its entirety isn't quite clear to me yet, which is probably by intention, right? Like they're not releasing all the information yet. It's a beautiful day in Breetown and you have a horrible owner. Okay, hi, sorry, bye. Every so often she's like, too much activity, gotta go. My hope is that she'll come back and lay down. There's less activity in the bed. Well, we have a whole little group of people here. All right, so Arifith says, I hardly know what to say. This is about a deal gone wrong. He says, after all we have done, you owe us nothing, and yet you lent us your aid. Oh, I think we had some strife with these people. My companions and I will not trouble the folk of Ered Luin ever again, I promise it. Were these Dunlendings? No. Oh, maybe these were the evil dwarves. I think those guys were Dowerhand dwarves. There was a whole Dowerhand subplot here that I've forgotten about.
Something horrid has taken hold of my kinsfolk. I do not even recognize them anymore in the history of that quest.
Oh, okay. Something horrid had taken control of the kinsfolk, and he was like, I don't even recognize them anymore. Yeah. So we've taken care of that, it sounds like. Although this guy is like, what? A banner of Angmar? I don't like the sound of that. The old kingdom fell long ago, and for good reason. And you say that the goblins' leader spoke of Sarnor? Well, I know of it. It was a city of the Dowerhands, but it's been abandoned for many years. And if the Dowerhands, who still remain loyal to Skorgrim, have taken refuge in its halls, then it's possible they still plot against the elves and dwarves of Ered Luin. So if it were not for Arifith, this guy here, I doubt we would have known until it was too late. Perhaps there are still some among his kin who have not lost their sense of honor. I thank you for your aid. It seems we shall have to remain vigilant in the days to come. So yeah, he's, I think, a Dowerhand dwarf. I'm going to grab these yew branches real quick. A few of my companions and I resolved to strike out on our own after Skorgrim departed Ered Luin, but it wasn't long before our kinfolk sent the goblins after us. Yeah. See, so there's been some dwarf intrigue there. All right, and this guy's an elf, and he's been involved in this storyline as well. And he says, even though Skorgrim threatened the life of my father, I would not think to seek vengeance upon all the Dowerhands. It is pity they deserve, not my wrath. A darkness has ensnared their people, and it wears the face of their lord of old. For our part, Athel, that's funny, and I will continue to keep watch on Ered Luin. Oh, that's the dwarf guy over there. And if the Dowerhands have truly returned to Sarnor, I have no doubt that we will call upon you again. And as for the goblins, we will rout them to the very last. You have my thanks. We get some increased reputation with the Yonderwatch. So there is a reputation faction up here called Yonderwatch. Oh, there it is. I'm up to ally. I have 4,000 reputation out of 20. So working on that. And then I've also got these Yonderwatch coins. I think that's what they're called. Nope, apparently not. What did I just get? Coins of... Boop, 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 boom. copper bounders coins. So it's for bounder. There we go, copper bounders coins. So apparently you have a limit of 500 of those, but I currently have 162. And that's your barter currency for some of the stuff up here. I think that's how I got the, I got travel for my group. Because I'm a hunter. So I got guide to No Bottle, which is one of the towns. It's the one down here at the bottom. So I have a travel to skill from there. And I think I had to buy it using those coins. Went ahead and got that. Yeah, the No Bottle port. Hey, Arthur says the No Bottle port is quite useful for booze runs for the Ale Association and the Inn League. Is that what you're talking about? Where would you go from No Bottle? Down to the Shire?
They have swift travel from there to other places.
Must be a swift travel thing. That would make sense. Yeah, so when Yondershire came out, the ports in the Shire. Hi, honey. So down here in the Shire, so like Mickle Delving, or let's say Hobbiton. So Hobbiton used to have like just 2 or 3 things that connected, but now you see there's this huge list of things, and there's a whole bunch of swift travel that they added in. So let's see, you got Westbury, Mickle Delving, Brockenborings, but now you've got like swift travel to Mickle Delving, which it used to be slow. You could do swift travel to Needlehole, Brockenborings, Stock, doing like there's a whole bunch of these, and a bunch of swift travel places here in Yondershire. Speaking of, I'm still missing a stable master. You probably are too. Bull Roarer's Way. I'll bet you we'll make it there eventually. We haven't gotten there yet. Okay, there we go. So before says, wait, there's somewhere better than Doolin? Because we use that one to get us to Thrassy's Lodge. When we're doing the Inn League and Ale Association. So we set a milestone here, and then we have slow travel, but it's just right here to Thrassy's Lodge. So that's not too bad. But yeah, I guess I could look at the, hang on, let me get the Stable Master's map. So there's one, there's Thrassy's Lodge. Now it's just Thrasy still just says Gondabon and Dooland. But maybe there's swift travel to Dooland from somewhere. All right, we find Reginald staring morosely at an unlit campfire. Aw. He says, I collected kindling on the way here, but I tripped and dropped most of it into the river. Oh, he's going to have all sorts of bad luck because he doesn't have his lucky thing. That's no luck at all. Oh, well. He says, well, no use letting that dampen my spirits. I'll try again. In the meantime, would you mind harvesting some mushrooms? I assure you the ones that grow here are quite safe. All right. Well, let's try this out. Friends and Good Fortune is the name of this quest. So we have this theory, not that it's bunnies, something else, that the mushrooms, like in Farmer Maggot's fields and throughout the Shire, have actually some rather poisonous properties to them. And that the hobbits are just so used to eating them that it's part of their makeup, that they have now either they already did or they do now have a natural buffer against the poison of the mushrooms. And so we have this theory then that maybe one of the reasons why the poisonous nature of Mount Doom didn't affect Sam and Frodo quite as much as it maybe should have, is because maybe they have this poison immunity that helped them out. So that's a fun little theory that we have. Egg Arthur says we need to talk. I like it. Well, we have those videos up of the Inn League and Ale Association combined run, and so yeah, we definitely want to be as efficient with that as we possibly can, obviously. All right, I have collected a bunch of mushrooms for our fellow. So yes, so before it says Mordor, it's full of toxins. Hobbit's lunch, even worse. So that's a fun little theory that we like to play around with mentally. Don't remember off the top of my head, but I know some of the barterers have some fun housing items. And the reason I was thinking about that, because I have my Deco de Mew mug here that I've been drinking out of, and that reminded me because Deco de Milieu is a website that is a complete database of all of the various housing items that you can get in the game. So that's pretty cool. All right. Oh, he says, perfect. If you like, you can sit with me. It'd be nice to have the company as I cook. He says, this reminds me of the time when boars ate all of my food. I'd gotten lost somewhere north of Brie. So he wants us to sit with him. Okay, I will sit with Reginald. He begins to tell tales of his previous adventures. I mean, I'm feeling like his lucky thing is not so lucky. Time flies thanks to Reginald's vivid storytelling. All right, well, that was some quick storytelling, let me tell you. He says, and that's how a few of the big folk helped me out of a deep hole in the middle of nowhere. You should have seen the look on their faces. He says, oh, there we go. I must say these mushrooms are some of the best I've cooked yet. I hope you like them. By the way, thank you for joining me. I used to venture out here with a close friend of mine, the one who gave me the lucky clover. He's no longer around to share in this tradition, but I'm glad you could. Maybe I'm not so unlucky after all. And then he gives us some options, which, if I was level 20, would probably be lovely. But I will just grab one of those. All right, completed. Friends and good fortune. Ah, well, I was hoping to hang out with Reginald some more. I was kind of enjoying his company. Well, let's see. All right, well, I've just gone and picked up the first 5 quests that are on there so we can have those on the tracker also. But I agree. I think Gamich is our next location. Is there a stable master anywhere near here? Oh yeah, I could take us to No Bottle. Why don't I do that? Ready? All right. Let's see. A very long string of persons, but I'm going to call you the River Styx, has joined us, and they say, so excited to play this game. Just got it downloaded. Awesome. Welcome. It's good timing, too. So we're hanging out here in Yondershire, which is a relatively low-level area to play in. How do you do? Hang on. Where are we going again? I forgot where we're going. Oh, Gamich. Gam. Oh, I thought maybe you typed it in the chat. Gamwich. Here we go. Maybe? There we are. So we are north of the Shire in this area called Yondershire, and it has a bunch of quests and things you can do in the area, and those are like level 15 or 18 through like level 25. So now that you're just getting started with a new character, that is not a bad time for playing around this game. Oh, I like this area. This is like that wooded kind of like there's different layers to this place, kind of. I like this one. This was a nice one. Oh, hey.
Could I take a moment
Wait,
of your
have
time?
we done this before? We haven't done this before.
Not obviously.
Well, let's take a look. She says, hey there. Do you think you have what it takes to become the best hunter of game in all of Yondershire? Bold words, bold words. Well, I'll be the judge of whether you're worthy of boasting or not. How about I put you to the test? Gamwich can always use more food in the stores for winter. Hunt each of the creatures to be found throughout Yondershire and return to me, and perhaps I will make you an honorary hunter of Gamwich. Okay. Can do. But I think we have other things to do in this town. Wow. Yeah, there's something this way. Oh, probably the fishing. Something to do with fishing. Where is the fish thing? Yeah, right? We're like, we gotta swim all over the place.
Delayed response. Find the house in Cambridge.
Oh, we have to find the house in Gamwich. Okay. Zoom. Hey, it's completely still and silent, although I can knock on the door. Oh, okay, so what I did is I came through here with another one of my characters and was doing some of this. And I think I actually got through this or past it. It says, wait for Clotted to answer the door. It says, no one more second. Okay, knock on her door again. Wait for her to answer the door. 3, 2, 1. And still no response. Right, but I think she's coming. From within the house, someone shouts, go away. But I was sent to talk to you. She says, oh, I'm sorry for being so rude. I thought you were one of my horrible neighbors. I hear them knocking on my front door of all hours of the day. The nerve. Yeah, that would be annoying. She said, ever since I shared my family's special coney stew with my neighbors, they haven't stopped trying to hound me for the recipe. And as much as I'd love to have tea at Lass's house, I'm afraid to take a single step outside. It's where she's supposed to be. As tea at her friend's house. She says, unless you could tell off my neighbors for me, a few sharp words will make them less eager to harass me. So, all right. All right, so we're going to try and find some bothersome neighbors and scold them. Harumph fine, she says. All right. So apparently the people of No Bottle are a little different. Or maybe not. I didn't want that blasted recipe anyway, he says. Somehow, I don't believe you. This is more trouble than it's worth. All right. I think we've probably scolded about half of what we need to let her get out of her house. Without being harassed. Hey, bothersome neighbor. Yes. Oops. I didn't catch her yet. There we go. How rude, she says. How rude. Oh, so River Styx. There's also another new area that's going to be opening up soon. And it's going to be like level beginning through, what'd you say, Arthur? 5 to 30. So again, also a great time to be starting the game because you'll be able to like go through there on level with your characters and stuff, which would be pretty cool. As opposed to some of us who have already over leveled past that area, but we'll go back and do it. But it's just, it's a little different when you're doing it like on level. It's really fun. Yes, and as before says, welcome to Middle Earth. That is so awesome. Have you picked out which server you're going to play on yet? There are a variety of options. You may have noticed. All right, she says, finally, some peace and quiet. Would you mind letting Lassen know I'll be arriving shortly? Okay, we can do that. Grimshaw86 says, I liked playing the instrument. I like playing the instruments. I used to have some good song files. Oh my gosh. And good song files, man. Those are worth some. Like, those are so good because, I love listening to people playing music in the game and I enjoy playing it too. So, I don't have like amazing song files. I just find what I find online. But some people are really good at like adjusting things and tweaking things and basically, writing music or adapting music for the game. And it blows me away. Pretty cool. There you go. Maybe that's something I could do is take Dutch songs and adapt them for Lotro to play on Lotro.
Untapped market. Untapped market.
Untapped market, that's right. Long song to live, long song to live. That's what people sing when it's somebody's birthday. Long song to live, in the glory. That would be pretty funny. So we are currently in Dutch classes. So we're like crazy busy at the moment, but
How are people supposed to get here?
where are we going? We're trying to get up to Ost-Lageroth. Hey, there's a bear. Here, I'll hop down. I got my Hunter Fast feet on. But yeah, so good song files are cool, and it's the sort of thing where it's a neat idea of a skill to have. There's just so many things I want to do that I'm like, is that where I should spend time? Like, I really want to get more videos put out for, so I'm an entrepreneur here in the Netherlands, and I really want to get more videos out about, things in the Netherlands and what it's like to live here and that sort of thing. And we've got footage, but it comes down to like, editing it and then putting it against the script and then checking that against that and like going back and forth. So we do a lot of that work together. But if I could do some of it, of the editing stuff, because he does the computer stuff more. And so I really should spend time like figuring out how to do that, I guess. Part of it is that I'm not good. So I have a theater degree, and one of the things I learned in my theater degree is I'm not particularly great at writing scripts. Like, I can do it, but it feels like the best script is more of a collaborative thing for me. So, and yeah, anyway, but you know, that's a long time ago. Maybe things have changed. Maybe I'm better at stuff than I used to be. Who knows? At any rate, we're taking classes right now, and so that we're quite busy with that. But once our classes are done, eventually in October, end of October, then I'll have time to do things again. Oh dear. Whoa.
That's not the right place for it.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's not how we get in there. But hey, we can, you know, find bears along our way. I know, we're so close to where we're trying to go, which is that thing on the top of the hill. There's another bear. How many do we need? Oh, we still need 2 more bears. There we go. 1 more bear. Hey, there's a big castle-looking thing. Wow. I mean, that's huge. Look at that thing. Wow. That's quite nice. Hey, there's gold. Do we need knickerbockers? We probably do. They're annoying. There we go.
Yes,
Oh yeah, hey, there's a bunch of stuff over here on the side we can... What am I looking at? That's a fox. We don't need the fox, but maybe the wolf. Oops, are you inside? No, you're outside. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Cool, cool, cool. Thank you. So these guys are much lower level than us. We're level 65, and they're level 25 probably or something, 20 maybe. Let's see, what's that guy? 22.
very satisfying.
Yeah, so our minstrel here has a skill where she basically, you know, walks in and explodes, like goes, "Rah!" and everything in the area just falls over. Well, everything in the area takes damage, but because of the level that we are, everything takes enough damage to take it out. So it's as before says, very satisfying. Yeah, I see a supply crate. I'm gonna check it out. Maybe it's just a regular supply crate, but it's worth looking at. Yeah, it's just a regular one. Uh-oh, I've lost track of you. Are you across the bridge? Okay, cool. I'm catching up. Hey, I'm finally getting warm again. I've had a weird day. Hey, there's some stolen potatoes. We should grab those. He says, oi, hands off, that's mine. Oh, yeah, there was a thing about people taking the Hobbit stuff, and they were like, well, what if you take my stuff? Will you leave me alone? And it's like, well, that's not a good idea. They're going to just keep coming back for this. That's not going to work for you. It's not going to work out for you, little Hobbit. So we have saved the potatoes. Yay. And hopefully got that brigand to leave the Hobbit alone.
When we were down below, I saw a ring. Now let me put this in potatoes.
That'd be my guess. Hang on, I'm put my hair up again. Okay. So yes, it's been a crazy day of like, I got super warm at one point and it took me a couple hours to cool down, which is a little unusual. And then as I started to cool down, I got really chilled to the point where I was like wearing a sweater and long pants and like I had a blanket on my feet and I pulled another blanket over me like crazy. It's like, it's not a cold day. It's actually kind of humid today, which in a way is kind of nice because we have been having the drought stuff. Oh, I do see a ring over there. What is that? Widegard Puddifoot. Is that where you're headed?
Where do you see the ring?
Um,
Oh, there it is.
yeah,
That's the one I saw.
yeah.
Whoops.
Hey, Wingard.
What
I think this will be a fruitful relationship for both of us. Oh, she's got more. A few days ago, I asked the folks up in the ruins if I could poke around, and you know what they said? Be off before you regret it, and they chased me away. Well, that was rude of them, wasn't it? She says, I want you to investigate the ruins. Oh, we were just there. For any scrap of writing related to cookery. Check their supplies. Maybe they already gathered what we're looking for without knowing it. I'll wait here where there's no ruffians. Okay. Sure, we can do that. we know our way around that place now. Yeah. So yeah, so we're currently, you know, bopping around through Yondershire. But if you have any questions about anything Lotro related, feel free to pop it into the chat. I'm happy to answer questions, like even a bit of, you know, how did you do that? Hey, I see a crate of suspicious goods. A couple of them even. We have collected a recipe scrap. Oh, here is another curious crate. I am curious about this crate. Should I be suspicious? It is a suspicious crate. Hey, I wonder if that's one of the things that you can get as a housing. Oh, we just ran by some more crate right here. That was suspiciously located. Let's see, where else? We're in circles here. Oh, you think down that way, maybe? Guess I could look at the map. Wonder if it's on the map. Nope, it's just like in this area. Good luck.
Oops.
Guess I'll come down there with you.
Let me know if there's anything.
I didn't see any up there. Oh, here's another one straight ahead of us. Over here. That will make number 4. So maybe our circle will condense. Nope. It still wants us to look around some more. Haha, convenient. Awesome. Cool, I have 5 recipe scraps. Maybe all together they'll make a thing. Oh, how funny. I managed to land without damage. When you jump off of things, sometimes you take some falling damage. Sometimes you can hit it just right, though, so you don't take it. New research material, she says. You are a fine assistant indeed. Give me a moment to look through what you've brought me. Sure. What do you think? She's scanning the text when she suddenly bursts into off-key song and clumsy dance. Oh, you're still here. You didn't see her any of that. Ahem. Assistant, I have made the most incredible finding. A shrub that grows in this area was actually used as a culinary herb. I will gather a small amount on my way back to Gamwich and make some test dishes. I would ask you to pick a greater amount and bring them to me in Gamwich. Okay. So let's go weed picking, or herb picking as it were. Okie dokie. Yes. Oh, Agartha says technically it's not damage, it's morale reduction. So falling makes you sad. I'm sad. We talk about, before and I do, sometimes about how the elves are very sad, right? Like they know that their time in Middle Earth is coming to an end and magic is ending and all of these things. And so they're like, you know, heading off, never to come back here again. And they're going to miss being in Middle Earth, but they're going on to live forever in the Undying Lands. So, you know, it's like a bittersweet kind of thing for them. But it definitely comes across as a pretty strong melancholy. So sometimes we talk about, you know, the elves. I'm sad. It's kind of an Eeyore sort of thing. Oh, nice. So, but I mean, it may be a morale reduction, sure, but it also does give you an effect because, well, the next time I fall, I'll show everybody. But like the effects that are underneath your character portrait there, you get one that is you walking slowly and stuff. And it can last for up to 59 seconds, basically. My understanding is if you do manage to take 60 seconds worth of falling damage, that does turn into a defeat. Like, you're so sad, you're defeated.
Might be 61 seconds.
Might be 60s. Hey, so it might be 61. There we go. Yes, someday Eeyore will make the final journey into the Undying Lands. I like it. All right, let's see. I've got 6. Oh, there's another one over here. Next to this bear. A wee bear, or short. Oh, it counts as a beast. We need them for Beast Slayer, but not necessarily for recipes. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So, where are we off to now? Let's see, we are up here near Gamich. There's still some stuff we can do in the area, though, so I think we will. So, this reminds me a little bit of, oh, not Lone Lands. What's the next one over? Trollshaws. Because of how there's so many trees and the topography is not flat. And so you're like trying to figure out how to get your camera angle in sometimes to be able to see what's going on. Because I like to kind of set my camera angle back and up so I can kind of see the landscape as I'm coming across it. But you can't necessarily do that, you know. So you have to like find a balance between up too high and... Should we go in?
Forbidden bounds.
Ah, Fredegar. He's already formulating a plan to deal with Lotho and his bounders. Oh, good. Hey, Fredegar, what's up? This is Freddie Bulger, down from the Shire. He says, you made it. That Lotho has never been much for discussion, and he's only gotten worse with age. Unfortunately for him, we've only gotten smarter and more serious, haven't we? Bah, bah, bah. He says, if the Yonder Watch hopes to outwit Lotho and his bounders, they're going to need some supplies, and I have just the things. He says, I need you to bring these supplies to the bounders in Longcleave. Whatever you do, don't get caught by Lotho's bounders. So we have an objective to collect the supplies from the secret store hole and then avoid Lotho's bounders. All right, so shall we collect supplies? Oh, interesting. You are carrying. I'm following. Now, because we're in a fellowship, yeah, only one of us actually needed to pick it up. So in a sense, we're both carrying stuff. But if there's like a speed boost, she gets it, I don't, because I don't have the goods. We do both have to watch out for getting caught by the bounders. So if I were to like, I don't know, wander off or something and get noticed by the bounders, it would still count against us. Usually that's how the fellowship quests go. I can't say specifically for this one, I'm just speaking in general. That's usually how these sorts of quests go. It's really quite interesting though, because yeah, it's kind of cool. There's like, sometimes there's festival quests that you can do as a fellowship and everybody gets credit. Do you want me to shoot that bear?
Yeah, this one's like 100.
Okay. The bear has been dealt with. Yeah, that is one thing that makes this kind of interesting, is because Affodil cannot pick up or interact with things while we're zipping along. Hang on. Okay. We needed sneakers. I don't have the explosive thing, so I have to actually stop and shoot things if we're... I guess I could switch over to blue line, but I don't... So I'm a red line hunter most of the time, which means my most effective things are when I stop and shoot. I am effective with auto shoot though. It's just not as effective, but with these guys being as low level as they are, usually 2 or 3 hits will do it. But blue line hunters, their skills, they can use them on the run. And so you can actually like line up some really nice shots on the run. But I've been kind of neglecting my blue line for a while. And here, I'll open up my thing here in a second to explain what I'm talking about. Hang on, I'm bear hunting. Oh, I wondered if you had a timer. Okay.
So don't do that.
No more hunting. Okay, off we go.
And don't open up your thing to explain the munching up.
Okay. Oops. I'll just follow you. See, okay, so she's got falling damage. So under her, oh, now it's gone. There's like a little squiggle line. There, like that. And you see the little, like it's like your knees are damaged a little bit. Hey, that's just what we need. Thank you for these supplies. Fredegar has been of tremendous help to our cause. While I have you here, would you mind assisting me with something? There's a man named Bill Fernie, as we know him, lurking about near here. Oh, really? And I suspect he's up to no good. Oh, you know he's up to no good. His presence will begin to frighten the children before long, so shoo him away with force. Oh, happily. Go punch him in the nose. Yes, before it does mention that he likes how minstrels can do all their attacks on the run. So the bars at the bottom of your screen when you're first starting, you've got a whole bunch of little baubles here you can click on. And this one here, that's the Gandalf, that opens up your trait panel. So when you open up your trait tree panel, you've got 3 tabs over on the left. The first one is your class traits. The second one are your race traits. And the last one are your virtue traits. So each one of those has some really good things to check on and make sure you've got things set up the way you want them to be. And if you have any questions about that, absolutely ask here or ask on anybody who streams on this channel. We can totally help you out with that. So when you, at some point early on, it'll say you need to pick a specialization and it'll open up this panel for you. And that's where you pick whether you are this one, which is the blue line, this one, which is the red line, or this one, which is the yellow line. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about these colors. So I also have, let's see, so you have 2 tabs on the side by default, and you can switch between them with impunity. Like you can just go nuts. Yeah, see, I have 14 points I haven't even spent in my blue line. So at some point I should do that and make sure I've got that set up how I want it to, in case I want to switch over it to being more effective in a moving about situation. So notice how this has a timer going and I cannot switch back right now. So I will have to wait for that timer. It's like a minute, but oh, hang on. Actually, I want to switch back before we hit Bill Fernie. Okay, let me do that real quick. So now I'm back in red. I'm happy with that. Okay, now I'm ready to hit him. He says, I'll go where I please and do what I please, and anyone who stands in my way is going to pay for it. All right, ready? All right, let's hit him. Can I do a heart seeker? No, he's not going to be around long enough. He says, you taught him a lesson, but will it stick? No, but I will happily hit him with a stick. Does that count? Apparently, Bill Fernie rolls out a very violent side of me. Well, let's go back and let the hobbits know that he's gone for the moment. But I'm afraid he might be back. Huh? Okay. Oh, we have a couple of rings around here. Oh, that's the post. Okay. Oh yeah? None of those roads lead to where we're going? Okay.
We're trapped on the right side of the hills.
We're on the other side of the of where we need to be. Oh, I see, 'cause we weren't talking to somebody in Longcleave. Okay. Far, far away we go. Far, far away. So at some point I'll probably stop and talk to a one of the quartermasters around here. They're located in, I think, most of the larger towns. So Gamwich, Nobottle definitely has one. Tyfield might, so on. And see what am I saving up these coins for? Because I'm not 100% sure. See, there's one of Lotho's bounders. Move along, nothing to see here, he says. So that's one of the things that's going on up here in up in Yondershire, is that Lotho, Sackville Baggins, has moved himself and some people in the area, and he is up to no good. Now, it's not exactly certain what he's up to, but like the post keeps disappearing. Like he has people who are taking the post from the normal postmasters, and they're like, or from the post deliverers, and he's like, oh, we'll deliver this for you, don't worry about it. And then they take it and they take the things out, and they're using that to spy on people also. So letters are going missing, yeah, and they're gathering information, like no goods over there, doing all sorts of, yeah, causing trouble. So Lotho's bounders, the bounders in the area are working for Lotho, and again, up to no good. So this is kind of like some of the precursor, like information of, you know, maybe what things that would have happened that led up to the scouring of the Shire, because, you know, they didn't just come out of nowhere. Like, you know, people had been in league with Sauron for a while. Hey, we delivered the goods.
Good day.
He says, I do not know this Bill Ferny. Do you think he might be in league with Lotho? He says, no, I doubt it. Lotho might be a sour-faced fellow, but he's still a hobbit, and I can't imagine he'd have anything to do with this Ferny fellow. Oh, you should use your imagination a little harder. All right, he says, the Yonderwatch does not yet have enough supplies to deal with the presence of so many of Lotho's bounders. He says, I'll find you there later. Oh, sorry. How about you bring some supplies to No Bottle, and whatever you do, don't get caught, and then I'll meet you there later once I've completed a few more of my preparations. My plan is still coming together, but when it does, it will be something else. Trust me. Okay, so shall we pick up some more supplies and deliver them? Do you want to pick them up, or do you want me to? All right, I'm going to carry the supplies. Are you using a giant pretzel as a weapon? Why, yes. Yes, I am. Thank you for asking, Sir Pug.
I'll make my weapon visible.
Let's see, where am I going? I'm going down to No Bottle. All right. I guess I got to keep an eye out for Lotho's bounders. Which, do they show up as eyes?
Oh, you're no longer giving me haste.
Oh! So one of the cool things that hunters do is I've got this little thing here. Well, you know what? For some reason it wasn't on. That's interesting.
You can't activate it while you're carrying.
Oh, I can't activate it while I'm carrying. You get these things, little fast feet is what we call them. And it's a hastening thing. Basically, for the whole fellowship that's like nearby, everybody can run just a little bit faster, which is nice. So I'll follow you though,
Yeah.
since you are able to keep us on track. And whoops, hey, we're sliding down a hill. Hope that worked out.
Frying pan weapon.
Now I have seen it all. Oh, excellent. Affodil has their frying pan out. Let's see. Oh, well, we'll show when we get to No Bottle. So basically in Lord of the Rings Online, you have your armor set. So technically I'm wearing this, I've got 2 swords and I've got a bow and arrow on the back. I don't even know how I use this all in combat. But you can set up a cosmetic outfit. And so that's what people see that you are wearing and how you are interacting with things and whatnot. Funny thing though is yes, because, we were spotted by a bounder.
Where?
I don't know. Oh, that guy right here.
My goodness. What are they doing over here?
Well, causing trouble. What else would they be doing over here?
Alright.
All right. So hang on, let me grab these branches and then I'll jump up. So the cool thing is that then when you're in combat or whatever, whatever you have equipped cosmetically, and so I have, oops, wrong thing. I was going to show you my character. So I have my character equipped to be holding a pretzel and a basket of apples. So if I am in hand-to-hand combat and I hit something, it looks like I'm hitting it with my pretzel or the basket of apples, which is great. You can get oars at the last festival as a handheld item, and so one of the folks we run around with is a high elf, and and the high elf, he's equipped with an oar in each hand, and so when he goes into hand-to-hand combat, it looks like he's swatting things with the oars. The Bjorning in our party, she has usually like a shovel equipped, and so it looks like she's hitting things with a shovel. It's fantastic. Lots of little things like that I enjoy about this game. It's fantastic. So yeah, it's good stuff. Very good stuff. All right, well, let's go back in. Let's try this again.
We'll try this
One more time with feeling. All right.
Could I take
Accept.
a moment of your time?
Do you want to pick up or do you want me to?
Go for it.
Okay, I'll pick up.
Right,
What?
Okay, your feet are active now.
Okay, cool. I don't know why they weren't before. That's really interesting.
That's fine.
Wonder what turned it off. Okay. I will try to pay attention to if anything shows up on the radar. I wasn't even watching. Oops. Sorry. Let's see. Egg Arthur says, my burglar on Evernight dual wields giant flowers. Yes, that's another popular one. I love the giant flowers because they're huge. And so it looks like you're whapping somebody with a flower. It's so good. It's funny because, so Treebeard here has been around for over a year. It started on June 30th of last year. So it's been a year and like, 3 months? So we've been through each of the festivals once now, and now we're starting to go through our second iteration of the festivals. And the giant flower comes out of, it's either spring or anniversary. It's one of those two. What's that?
Spring, I think.
You think it's spring? Because I know you got to go pick all those flowers, and you got the.
A possible reward from one of those boxes
It's-
you get from
yeah.
picking the flowers.
It's one of the boxes that, so you go and you have an hour to pick flowers, and there's 3 different locations, and then you can use those to buy either a red, a green, or a blue box. And there's one straight ahead of us. Straight ahead of us. Come back. Come back.
What?
Okay. There's a bounder. Lotho bounder. He's okay. Cool. I do see him on my radar this time. All right.
Well, we're in the area.
Okay. Cool.
There's another one.
Oh, yep. There's another one across. We're headed. Yeah. Okay. Cool. You see him. Oh, there's one straight ahead of us there too.
What are these all doing with their time?
Well, causing trouble. What do you think? Can we go back? Some?
See if we can go
Backtrack? Okay. Watch out. You're getting close to that guy. Okay.
How's your timer?
Oh, we're about a quarter left. Okay, cool.
We need to get to the bridge.
Take it to the bridge. There's a guy next to the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably can't run through the water with this, I'm guessing. Because you can't do it with the mail.
Don't follow.
Okay.
Yep, this one.
Oh, my time is getting closer, though. Hmm?
Do what I did.
Okay. We're safe so far. Where do the supplies go?
To the boundary.
Oh, good. Because the timer was getting close. Yay!
Just a moment.
All right, she says, thank you for these supplies. I confess that I was suspicious of Mr. Bolger when he arrived, but he has proven to be a good friend to the Yonder Watch. While I have you here, would you mind assisting me with an urgent matter? Some man named Harry Goatleaf is lurking about near here. I was hoping you might confront him and send him on his way. This seems very familiar. What are these guys doing here? Nothing good. Is there a festival on? The answer is no. I am so sorry. Makes me sad because I like the festivals a lot. So Egg Arthur, your burglar is a hobbit and the flowers are bigger than she is. That's fantastic. I love it. Yeah, I tend to equip the flower on an elf or high elf because it just, they're long and spindly and the flower's long and spindly and it kind of has that same aesthetic together. But yes, oh my gosh, on a hobbit, it would just be ridiculously huge and that's fantastic. Sir Pug says, nice use of cosmetics. You hadn't thought about that. Yay! Well, I'm glad to add another dimension to your Lotro game. Yes, so Egg Arthur says that the Shipwreck Mariner is happening later on this week. So I have a thing called Lotro Pad. It's a plugin. And I've gone ahead and copied and formatted in a way that works for me all the information from the list of when festivals are happening. But I do actually have that list, and I should just give you all that link here. So hang on a second. So, oh, there we go. And yes, so on the forums there is a list of all of the different events that are happening. Oh, whoops, I gotta talk to this lady. Hang on. Oh, she says, welcome back, friend. My, you look like you've been busy. What took you so long? And you explained the task that Anson had you complete. And then she guffaws. He made you do what? That Anson is the laziest hobbit I know. I paid for that rope last week. Brought down a fine buck that I traded to him, and he has you running around doing a full day's work. She laughs again, shaking her head and wiping tears from the corners of her eyes. Oh, there's more. Her laughter fades to a chuckle and she clears her throat, trying to hide her smile. All right, now that we have the rope, we can move on to the next step in my grand plan. We need a net. Take the rope to Ramsa Twelling in Gamich and have her make us a net. I'm going to follow these tracks a ways and we'll meet you further up their trail. I can't remember what she is up to, but she's got some idea that she's chasing down about something where I think she's making her life way harder for herself than she needs to, if I recall correctly. Oh, anyway, so I took that that information and I put it in my biography. So, like, if I'm ever like, hey, when's the next thingy or whatever, I just look at my biography and I've copied and pasted the dates into here. And And I can just do that for all of my characters, which is handy. So, and then anybody can inspect me and look at my character, and it has the dates listed. So there's something, if you're ever on Treebeard, and if I'm on, you can inspect me to kind of, if you want to find the dates, if you're like, I can't remember that website and all stuff. So let's see, yes, the Shipwrecked Mariner starts on the 15th, and today is the, 13th or so, I think. And then next week is Bilbo's birthday, which means it's also Frodo's birthday. And then there's a special quest series that you can do with that, which is nice. After that, we have a buried treasure event coming. Oops. Looks like I need to go into a pub. What's happening here?
Just something to drop off. You might have already done that.
Okay, yeah, I don't have anything to do there.
I think you probably did it during one of your Dragon Fridays.
Oh. Probably not, because it wouldn't have been this character. Green Dragon Friday. He was saying maybe I went ahead and already did that because it was a Green Dragon Friday. But Green Dragon Fridays are on Laurelin. At least that's where I attend them. On Fridays on Laurelin at 7:30 UK time is a gathering of hobbits at the Green Dragon. So it's called Green Dragon Fridays, and it's a lot of fun. So, yeah. Hey, Harry Goatleaf. I want to have a word with you. You want to move along, stranger. Stand in my way and you'll be sorry. Ready? Let's do it. You'll regret standing in my way. He says, you'll rue the day you interfered with us. You taught him a lesson, but will it stick? The answer is not yet. Would be my guess. So yes, so Shipwrecked Mariner is later on this week. It's a very small thing comparatively, compared to, like, you know, all the big festival stuff. It's just a cute little thing. All right, so what have we got? He says, Harry Goatleaf, how many of these men have come to Yondershire? Perhaps they are in league with Lotho after all. How can a hobbit, even one like Lotho, stoop to such lows as this? Still, it seems he has done just that. Yay for catching on. And now it's up to us to stop him and his cronies. I've cooked up something that should do just that. If it's just lighting off fireworks, I gotta tell you, it's not gonna work. He says, swamp muck, rotten eggs, neeker glands, fresh manure. He smirks at you, delighting in the expression on your face. What are these? It's simple. These are the ingredients I collected that will turn the tide for us. A terrible stew that is going to send Lotho Pimple running back to his mother. While you were gone, I brewed up a bomb, a frightfully potent stink bomb. By now, my friends will have followed my lead and made a dozen more. After we hit Lotho and his bounders with these stink bombs, they'll have to soak in their bathtubs for a full year before they can even think about continuing their scheme to change the bounds of the Shire. Now, let us gather up the stink bombs and put an end to Lotho's plans. Oh, hey, I've done 50 quests of the Yondershire. I'm a friend of the hobbits. I mean, I am a hobbit. I found a stink bomb. Oh, I have a deed bestowed. Complete Sites of the Yondershire and Complete Slayer of Yondershire. Okay. So there we go. And my virtue cap has been reached again, so time to switch to the next one. If you ever want to switch which one is earning, you just click on the square and notice how the little green earning word moved. So that's how you switch where you are earning virtue experience if you are working on that. Cool. Completed a deed. I got copper coins, friend of the hobbits, virtue experience, and reputation with my Yonderwatch. That's good. Oh, hey, there's another stink bomb I can pick up. Oh, I thought you were still right here next to me.
No, you went in a different direction.
Ah. We have gone in different directions for stink bombs, but I'll bet they're all as potent as one another. Let's see, I've got 4 so far. That's a door, it's a mailbox. That's a door. Oh, maybe I'm in the wrong place. Where am I? Let's see. The smell of revolt. Purple area. Okay, so I should be looking in this area, maybe. I'm not seeing any so far. Maybe I'll try a different area. Maybe they're in town. Ah, here's some. This will put me at 6. Alright, I'll keep looking for stink bombs. stink bomb. Where do you find a stink bomb? Oh, maybe I'll look at the map again. See if it's, oh yeah, I'm not in the right area. I'm using like the select and tabbing around to try and find the next targetable thing, hoping that I'll find them that way. Found a milestone. That's nice, and a door. Lots of people have doors, though.
There's some up at the gazebo.
Oh, the gazebo. I didn't look over there. Yeah, no bottle is actually kind of big. It's a little crazy. Oh, I found 2 over here by the bounder. So that'll probably finish you off, and if I go to the gazebo, that'll finish me off. Right here, there's a stink bomb nearby. Oh yeah. Cool. All right, throw them at the bounders. All right, let's go find some bounders.
Another one outside
Do I have to like click on him? I can be standing right next to him. Okay. He says, "Oh, that horrid smell." Indeed. Let's see. We got a nosy and an upset hobbit.
There's some over here.
Oh, okay. Cool. Oh, hey, I think they might be rings on my map. That's convenient. Hey, Bounder. Lotho will hear about this when I report back to him. Sure. You let him know the Clearwaters say hello. That's the last name I've given my Hobbit characters. Huh, says there's one. Oh, there he is. Harumph. Hey, buddy. I want to throw something at you. Too far away. Oh, interesting. So it's not quite like the Bounder's rounds. Uh-oh. Oh. Bounder flees, but the foul stink lingers. 3 out of 4. You also, I would assume?
2. Something on this one.
Weird. Well, I think there might be 2 up here. Yeah, here's one. How dare you? I'm going home, he says. All right. Salmon Fire says you just discovered the Sandman show. Nice. It was a bit intense, I believe that. So you had to come to Twitch Lotro for a minute. Well, welcome to Twitch Lotro. We are running around in the nice, comforting, gentle countrysides of Yondershire, which are as lovely as the Shire. See, look at that. That's some lovely views. So yes, we can help bring you back to calmness for a little while, and then you can go back and finish watching it. I read the comics years and years ago. Yes, B4 points out, just as a warning, that episode 5 is very intense. As I said, I read the comics a long time ago, like when they first came out. So I knew, I know in general what to expect in the storyline. And I was somewhat dreading that episode. Well, thankfully, B4 has a better stomach for it than I do. So he was able to go and watch it for me, and then just kind of like showed me the 5 minutes or so of that episode that I was good to watch. But yes, episode 6 is beautiful. It's actually possibly my favorite out of all of the Sandman like story comics. The Sound of Her Wings is beautiful. It's just beautiful. So yeah, it's lovely. Okay, so Frediger says, those hobbits smell terrible. If that doesn't teach him a lesson, I know nothing else that will. It's time to confront him once and for all. All right, let's travel to him. Dum, dum, dum. All right. Oh, it's a solo thing. Okay.
Good day.
You know the plan. You know what to do. There's nothing left to discuss. Ready, friend? It's now or never. All right, we're to throw stink bombs at more of the bounders. That's the plan. When you see Lotho's bounders, let them have it. There they are. Okay. Move along. Nothing to see here, says one of the bounders. Ugh, disgusting. And they run off. Okay. Yes, that'll show them, Freddy. Good job, Fatty Bulger. Fredgar. Alright, let's get this guy. He says, what's going on around here? Nice shot, says Fatty Bulger. How dare you? I'm going home. Okay. Well, okay, that's fair. We picked up 10 and we only used 4. That's what we call Chekhov's stink bomb. I like it. Here we go. 2 more. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, we have stink bombed them. Well done. Stink bombed? Stunk them? He says, Lotho, if you're going to tell everyone what to do, there's no place for you here. And he's got Harry, Goatleaf, and Bill Fernie with him. Dong, dong, dong. He says, you insolent greenhorn, I am trying to protect the Shire. You think you would want my help? Ha! You act like a badger in the Coney Warren all around. You all act like a badger in the Coney Warren around here. He says, leave, Lotho. This is your last warning. And he's all like ready. He says, I can't hear you. He says, I said leave, Lotho. What? No, really, I can't hear with all this rustling in the bushes. What rustling in the bushes? The ruffians attack. Oh, no. Oh, I should attack them back. Okay. Well, I could do that. Don't worry, Fredgar. I got you. He says, you're disrupting a perfectly reasonable conversation between 2 hobbits. I do hope this is not a normal day in the Yondershire. He says, this is what Lotho was saying. With the ruffians defeated, it's time to turn your attention to Lotho. Okay. Now, where were we? We do not need your protection. The Yonder Watch can take care of themselves. See? Here's the Yonder Watch. They look ready. They're good to go. All right, Bounders, let's give Lotho and his lackeys a proper Yondershire farewell. I'm guessing stink bombs. He says, now wait just a minute. Farewell. Get away from me. You both smell terrible. Yay, completed the smell of revolt. Cute. Well, I have to say, I appreciate a Hobbit style of how to deal with things. All right, we did it. We protected the bounds. And now Lotho is going to have to sit in a bathtub scrubbing instead of scheming. It'll do him some good, no doubt about it. It's a little worrying, he says, that Lotho thought to employ those scoundrels, Bill Fernie and Harry Goatleaf. And with all those ruffians about, it seems there may be dark days ahead for the Shire. We'd better stay on guard, my friend. But thanks again for joining my little rebellion. It went better than I expected, but goodness me, am I pleased that it's over now. Aw, you're so cute. Let's see. So we have a bundle of fresh herbs on a string, a spice leaf, or air freshener. None of these are usable by my character. I mean, I could use them, but they would be less good than what I have, so I probably won't. Although I have known people who have equipped, like, even their pocket items and their weapon items and everything, their jewelry, more in a role play style. So, you know, have somebody be able to inspect me and see that I'm carrying a bundle of fresh herbs on a string. I mean, you know, that could be nice with the role play. So there we are. Okay, so let's see. We finished off that part. So now, what do we have left? Oh, actually, let me pull up my quest log. Well, we're slowly getting there. Okay, we're not doing that one. We're not doing that one.
You could do Camilla. She's near her.
I want to wait and do that all at once, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can only do that.
I want to clear out everything else first.
Want to go fishing?
Let's see. We have an unconventional catch. Yeah, fish for the tiny waterlogged boat. Let's do that. Let's go find that. Looks like it might be north of us. Well, something's up that way. Maybe it's the boars and the bears. Oh no, sickle flies. It's probably sickle flies. We still have a couple more to go. Yeah. So we were talking about events in game. And so the next things that we have coming up, I'll just pull up a website over here so I don't open it up on my screen. Yes, so let's see, we are in September, right? Yes, which is the 9th month of the year. Okie dokie. Yes, we have the Tales of the Shipwrecked Mariner starting in 2 days from now. And all the Lotro events start at 10 a.m. server time, and server time is pinned to U.S. Eastern time zone. So if you're ever trying to figure out, like if you're online and it's not happening, but it's the day of it, if it's not 10 o'clock yet, that's why, because it's always pinned to start at 10 a.m. So the Shipwrecked Mariner, sickle flies. Oh, I should take a look. Hang on, I'm a hunter. I can do these things. Knickerbreaker? No, fly. I see a fly. Okay. It's in that direction too. Yeah, so Shipwrecked Mariner is on the 15th, which is in 2 days, and it only lasts for like 5 days, 4 full days. So if you want to do that, you've got a few days to get that done. It's like basically over the weekend. Bilbo's birthday starts next week on the 21st. And then a week later, we have a Buried Treasure event, and that lasts usually like a weekend as well, like a long weekend. So make sure if you have things you want to get there, like there are mounts. There are 3 mounts that you can get. Oh, we still need more. We still need more sickle flies. Do you want me to look? I see shrews. Hang on, let me look for a fly. Oops, we're in combat. Oh, I didn't get it caught in time. Okay, we'll just go that way. Okay, and then let's see. Bilbo's birthday, Buried Treasure, Hobnanigans. I like Hobnanigans. I think it's fun and cute. And that's also usually like a weekend event. And that this year has been the first weekend of even-numbered months. So at the first weekend of October. And then it'll again be the first weekend of December. But then we finally get to Harvest Math, and that is December. I'm used to reading things the other way around now. So I'm like, it's December. No, that's the 12th of October, not the 10th of December. Anyway, okay. Oh, her friend who's in the other things, we're letting her know she's going to come for tea. She says, thank goodness our tea can continue as planned, but don't tell me what happened. I'm sure she'll want to retell that story herself. Okay. Sounds good. I like it. So Harvest Math starts on October 12th, and they usually go for like 3 weeks, 3 full good weeks. So that'll be awesome. And that's the one where you can get into the Haunted Burrow. So that one's a lot of fun. And then around that same time, we'll have Durin's Day event. So Durin's Day, I think we still won't be able to get to it on this server yet.
So far away.
It is a little ways away. And currently there's, you can get a deed if you go up and, see the thrush knock thrice, I think it is. So you go up to the hidden door during that time frame. There's a deed if you do it the first time, and then there's a deed if you do it the second time, so like the next year. And then there's a deed if you do it again the third time, but then that's it. So at least it's not like we're not missing years upon years upon years. So that's good. Yes, so that's our next series of fun things coming up. Yeah, because I am a fan of the festivals and all the silly, lighthearted things you can do. I enjoy that.
See any sickle flies?
I will take a look here in a second. Let's take a look for a fly. Yes, I do. There we go.
Okay, now we have to figure out how to get up there.
Yeah, I wish it would let me choose from among the options that were there,
Fine.
That'd be nice, but no. Yeah. Sorry. Let's see. So salmon fire and not many Lotro users know Chekhov's gun. Funny thing is though, the Lotro community tends to be a little bit slightly older than your average in a video gaming kind of community, and then also tends to be a little bit more well read in terms of reading books, because I mean, a lot of us are here because of the Lord of the Rings online books and the Hobbit and the Silmarillion and all of that. So I think your incidence of people knowing about Chekhov's gun might be a little bit higher in a Lotro crowd. But that's fun. I hadn't thought about the fact that maybe some of these references might be lost. Okay, so Salmonfire asks, before, have you read the Black Silmarillion, otherwise known as the Black Book of Arda, which is Russian fan fiction for the First Age and the viewpoint of Morgoth? Oh wow, that is wild. Yeah, I haven't seen it either. Before has not. But yes, Before has started Jacqueline Carey's The Sundering period, which is roughly a retelling of Lord of the Rings from the other side, the bad side of a view. Hey, there we go. That's something I could do. I could read, I could go and reach The Sundering. We had Jacqueline Carey as a guest of honor at one of the conventions that I used to run. And that was neat. She is lovely. She is just a nice person. And she was engaging. And I wished every panel room had been full. We ran a pretty small convention, and every year it seemed like there was some sort of crazy conflict. Like one year they literally shut down the main highway through town. They never do that. And they just all day Saturday, the highway that gets you through Denver, Colorado was closed. It was insane. We're like, how does this happen? But anyway, so I feel a little bad because I felt like I wish there had been more people in the panels that she was on, listening and listening to her and asking her questions and talking with her, because I know the people who were there were just so excited to see her, and I wish she could have been surrounded by that. But then again, maybe that would have made her uncomfortable, so maybe it was the right amount. Because we've had other guests of honor, we had a New York Times, another New York Times bestseller author, and he's done probably thousands of conventions, but he's really a kind of an introverted person, and so having to sit around and interact with people was not necessarily something that he would want to do. So yeah, sometimes you forget that these people that you just see on these covers or in interviews and whatnot, that maybe they're not in that comfort zone. So try to accommodate for that as much as we can, Anyway, okay, so she says, you've returned from the hunt. I am a hobbit of my word, and I say you are now an honorary hunter of Gamwich. However, she peers at you slyly, you are not the best hunter of game in Yondershire, for that title belongs to me. If you wish to become my equal, you'll have to track down the most elusive and dangerous creatures in this land. Do this, and perhaps we will stand on equal footing, the finest game hunters in Yondershire. At least, I will be impressed. I will at least be impressed, she says. Okay, so now we have a list of the big bads to go for. Yes, so Salmonfire suggests that we do some online searching to find the Black Silmarillion. And yes, and you are welcome, and says thank you for the sundering. Yes. Jacqueline Carey has some really great stuff. Oh, are we supposed to fish?
Okay.
Let's do the fishing thing. Let's do it. I see a sparkle in the water. I feel like I should fish. It just, it has that thing. I need to find my fishing pole. It's probably in my vault. Luckily, I have access to my vault. Or is it in my inventory and I forgot to put it away? Hang on. Oh, yeah, it's right here. Silly me. Okay. All right, let me fish. Did you find a boat?
I found a boot.
Ah. That makes more sense. Because, man, fishing up a whole boat would be a bit much. That's so funny. I think that's what I did. Okay, so the way that you spell boat in Dutch is the way you spell boot in English, and I just auto-translated that in my head. Like, of course I'm looking for a small boat. Why would I not be? We're hobbits. I was like, sure. But hey, I caught a tiny waterlogged boot, and maybe that makes more sense. And now I need to take it to Mago Bunce. Oh, hey, he's right here. Hi.
Hello.
He says thank you. He takes the still soggy boot and works it onto the doll's foot. Aw. Mr. Pondfoot said he found this magic stone. He can't tell you what it does, only that you'll know it when the time is right. Okay. And he gives me a potato. Thanks for the potato. What a strange little guy you are, but I'm glad you're happy. Happy to find your doll's boot. What? Potato. Let me put my weapons back on before I forget. All right, so she accepts the bundle of herbs from you, the ones that we've been out picking and stuff, plucks one from the bundle, rubs the leaf between her thumb and forefinger. The aroma that seizes your attention is bitter and vegetal, but it quickly gives way to a profound sweetness backed by a gentle peppery note. And just as quickly, the scent is gone. She says, the test dishes I made were abject failures, just horrid and gunky, if that's even a word. But the aroma is so arresting, isn't it? Perhaps this wasn't used in the food itself, but as an aroma to appreciate before or after the meal. Maybe there are techniques that can properly draw out this herb's flavor. She grips the bundle of herbs the way a child grips a new toy. Assistant, I am sad to say this is the end of our partnership, at least for now. If my research yields a famous new dish, I'll be sure to credit you for your contribution. Perhaps I'll find a way to work your name into the name of the dish. How'd you spell your name again? Well, in any case, thank you again, and I hope to see you around. All right, and she has gloves for us. Oh, which I am hiding. Are they worth looking at? Did you check the gloves?
That's all 20.
Well, I know, but they could be good for cosmetics.
That's a cute description.
They have a cute description. Okay, hang on. Where are gloves? There are gloves. All right, let's see what she... so it says, a gift from Wingard Puddifoot. It may have been more prudent to give you these before you started working for them, but alas. Oh, because we've been out gardening. I can't seem to get the gloves to show on my person. Hang on a second. I am kind of curious about the gloves, I have to say. So they should have shown up when I did that, but I'll just put on my equipment outfit for the minute. Wow, is that what I'm wearing? That's insane. What? What the what? Did that not work? Oh, maybe I didn't actually equip it. Hi. Equipment, cosmetic, equipment outfit. Wear the following outfit. There we go. All right. What do these gloves look like? All right, those got little diamonds on them. Okay, those will kind of go all the halfway up my arm. And those also go up my arm. Okay, I am sated that I don't need to keep any of those gloves for cosmetic purposes. However, I do need to put my cosmetic outfit back on because that other outfit is kind of hideous. Yeah, right? Much better. That was a yucky outfit. Hey, Ramza, what have I got for you? She says, hello to you, my fine hobbit. This is very nice rope, and it will make for an excellent net. Tell Diamond I shall have it for her by midday on the morrow. You explained that you need it sooner. Well, that's too bad for you, isn't it? I have tasks that need doing today, and I haven't got time for net weaving. Although, how comfortable are you with bees? My hives are full of the sweetest honey, but not always the sweetest bees. If you would take some honey over to Pello at the Brimful Quiver, I could work on the net for Diamond. Mind you, don't upset the bees. They are quick to anger at times. Okie dokie. We have some promising hives here. Let's take a look. No honey in this hive. How about this one? I think we have annoyed bees coming out, but we are high enough level that we can just run away from them. Aha. Aha! We have collected some honey. Excellent. All right, let's bring it to somebody who wants it. Oh, the person in the pub. Or in the inn. That's where we're going. Yeah, that's the Brimful Quiver. I do like that we have a whole new set of inns in Yondershire. That is fun. Hey, fellow. Tying the knots. Welcome, friend. What can I get for you today? Ah, you have come for Ramza's mead, is it? I thought you looked sweet. Let's have the honey then, and you may collect her bottle from the room behind me. Okay. Neato. Ah, there's some honey mead to pick up. We have picked up the bottle. Now we need to go back out. Alright, let's get out of first person mode. There we go. I do find it easier to see what I'm doing when I can see myself.
How'd you do
Well, she says you made your way back here far sooner than I expected. The net is not done yet, but look what I have found, a helper. And she beams at you pointedly. Come now, here is the knot you want to use. With both of us tying, it'll be finished in no time. Add knots to the net. 0 out of 80. Oh my goodness. And a half done net. No way. I have added 1. Well, this will be interesting. It also keeps telling me 2 down, 78 to go. Oh my goodness. You have a feeling this is going to take some time. I do have that feeling. I don't know where you get that idea. Hey, time seems to fly by as you really get to knotting. Well, your first few knots were making me a bit nervous, but you seemed to get the hang of it as you went on. Good for you. If you ever want to give up this wandering life of yours, I could see you taking up work as an apprentice net weaver. An apprentice. Go on ahead and take the net to Diamond, and good hunting. Yes, well, I'm glad that worked out in the end. Don't forget to pick up the net. That's funny. Bring the net to Amanda. For a second I thought it said Adamantia, which is one of my characters' names. So that's why I was like, wait, what? Where are you going? Through the woods? Okay. Over the river? Through the woods?
More or less.
I haven't spent enough time in Yondershire to know all the quick little shortcuts, but I'm certain there are some. Hey.
Just a moment.
Potato Justice. Ah, you're back. He says, I'll take those potatoes back to Imbert. After all, I've got some apologies to make. Yeah, that guy got mixed up with some brigands and he stole some potatoes and he had this whole hijinks going on. And so we went and stole the potatoes back from the brigands. And yeah, so hopefully that's all sorted out. He's going to go give the potatoes back to the guy he took them from. The Hobbit that he took them from. So. Oh, how funny. Somebody in World is looking to buy some winter barley flour and bunches of blackberries. I'm like, oh, I have so much. But I'm, I'm a little busy right now. So funny thing is, yeah, I created, so on the Treebeard server and also over on Shadowfax, there's these deeds where, oh, hey, this is a guy that we want to take out for our special. Whoopsie. I'm on the wrong thing. How about I try attacking him with not cheering? Cheering at him only does so much. Okay. Anyway, so here on Treebeard and also on Shadowfax, you can, there's deeds you can complete if you have a character that is playing on this difficulty system. And if they're playing on, here, let me pull up, let's see, is it Class Race Epic? It probably is, yeah. So if you're playing on hard or higher as a hunter, for example, I will at level 130 earn this title Adept of Bows. And at level 50, there was a pair of titles. And then the next one is 130, so it's kind of a ways off. But so for playing at hard or difficulty or higher, I got a title. And then for playing at deadly or higher, I got a title. So I'm like, well, I want that for all of the characters, all the different titles that are available. So I created one of every class on Treebeard. So I have, well, I have 2 hunters actually, but you only get the titles once. Oh, hey, Enemies of Yondershire Advance, thank you. Apparently that completed that. Woohoo. But then I also have like, you know, a lore master and rune keeper. Like I have one of everything. And I did a lot of farming with them. You know, plant a crop, pull the crop, plant a crop, pull the crop, plant a crop, pull the crop. But they got experience for doing it. And so that was basically how I got them to level 50 and I got the titles. Because I don't know how to play a warden, I don't know how to play a rune keeper, and you know, all those things. Now my hope is maybe someday to learn and figure it out, but I just, this wasn't the time.
See a special animal.
Oh, animal?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take a look.
Game hunter.
That's fair. Yellowfang? Sweet. Oh yeah, Yellowfang is one of ours. That's funny. Isn't Yellowfang like somewhere else in the game also?
No, right there.
Oh yeah, you have to hunt Yellowfang as a hunter in one of your class things. They're in the old forest. Unless it's a different, but I think it's the same name. Cool. Slayer of Yondershire. Decompleted.
Multiple wolves have yellow fangs.
Maybe he just gets around, you know. I mean, like, he could be wandering. He was in the old forest, which, like, isn't that far from here, I guess. It's like down over here. Yeah, it could be he just wanders through the forest, you know. You know, wolves have quite a range. Whoa, I think we shouldn't go off that edge.
That's,
But let's ride off it instead.
yeah.
Oh. I see you mounting up and heading toward it. I'm like, I don't think that's what I had in mind either.
Pony's legs are not.
The pony's legs are not my legs. Yes, no. If you take falling damage on a pony, you end up with falling damage. You can't get away from it. Oh, cool, thanks. So yes, I am playing on Treebeard, and if you want to find out more about the legendary servers, you can also ask here in the chat. I'm happy to explain what I know. But yes, there's also a link there, and you can find out more about that too. Now, my understanding is that maybe over time they will roll this out to the other regular servers, but I don't know when they're doing that. And Sutherland was recently talking about it, and then Orion, another SSG employee, was recently streaming and talked about this, that there's this new delving system that they're going to be playing with, and it will be in missions, and you have the ability to basically make the mission harder. And oh, hey, there's some gold down there. And if you do that, you get better rewards for doing the missions. So, and the idea is to be able to provide people with gear. Oh, should I look for an animal here? Or not yet? And the idea is that you would get gear that is as good as like the tier 3 level gear, tier 3 raid level gear, which I think is a really interesting idea, because a lot of times you can't go into raids. Like, so raids, if you're trying to do it like hardcore, you kind of like need to be on point with like your armor and your jewelry and know how to use your skills and all those kinds of things, right? Like, you can't be just faffing about necessarily if you want to do things at like tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, because you'll just get wiped out. Like, you've got to really coordinate, and you've got to really have the stats to do it. So unfortunately what happens is then you get people that are like, I won't take you into a raid unless you have X, Y, and Z, which is a little disheartening if you're like, say, someone like me, who I enjoy the game and I have fun playing it. But I don't, like, you know, I'm not like, I have the best thing ever, I know all these things, you know, that sort of stuff. So I would not be the kind of person that they would necessarily invite into a raid, even though I would have fun doing it. So I think the delving system and the ability to get better gear is a cool idea, because if I had tier 3-ish level gear already, then it makes it easier, I would think, for someone to pull me in on a raid, because my stats will be better, and then they can teach me the raid in there. Like, that's my thinking. So I'm hoping that's kind of how that will bear out. Now, it's going to be a long time before I'm at cap, because, I mean, well, we're at cap for the server, which is level 65. And as it is, I mean, we're just having fun. Like, we're not like, I don't know, first in server. Oh, hey, I think this is one of the ones we want. Oh, maybe not. Oh, yeah, it was. Sweet. Scuttle-cheer. Scuttle-cheer. All right, so we just need sharp snout. Does he have a sharp snout? I'll bet he's down there. That's convenient that they're putting them on the map for us. Because, was it that one in not Yondershire, that's where we are, Wildwood. There's a Wildwood deed where you've got to go and take out a number of named creatures, and you just got to find them, like, or use the wiki. The wiki can help, but it's kind of crazy because, like, good luck. I'll bet you can do it. Good luck. Yeah. So yeah, so on Treebeard here, our cap is level 65, and we are at that cap. So anything that, like, is open on the server, it's cool because we're able to do it. So we can do, like, the Rift of Nerskashu. We got that at level 50. We could do, like, we've been doing a whole bunch of the place where the Necromancer is. Wow, there's a bunch of Dogeldor. We've been doing a bunch of Dogeldor stuff. Hey, do we want to take out a bunch of things back there, or do we not need them? Okay. Oh, we don't need them. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, so we've been doing a bunch of the Dogeldor instances, and those have been a lot of fun. And there's definitely some that are challenging. What's the one? Oops, we defeated Sharp Snout. Go us. That's hilarious. Shall we go straight north to Gamich and turn that in? Or, okay. Shall we go to Tyfield and see if we can get a stable master? Oh, we've got insects here. Okay. I just saw another one over here. Or maybe you already got it. No, there's a harvest fly over here. Zoom. Well, we are, I think, at 2 hours for me already. So on Tuesdays, I usually stream for 2-ish hours. Anywhere between 2 and 2.5, really. And then before streams, and for 2 to 2.5 hours, and talks about Lotro plugins. So after I'm done here, you'll want to stick around because before we'll be on and talking about Lotro plugins and doing some live plugin development. And he's also able to answer questions about, like, how do you use a plugin, or, you know, any questions you might have in that arena. So if you had something that you were like, oh, I meant to ask about and I forgot, you can absolutely do it during his stream as well. But I'm thinking we're going to turn in maybe 1 or 2 more things here. Oh, right. We want to go to, was it Gamich? Gamwich or Gamich? Yeah, but the W might be silent. Like Gamich. Like a sandwich. The itch might be silent. We're going to Gamwa. Gamwa. Oh, that's wild. It, like, just stopped in the intersection there. Like, ooh, that's a little crazy. Oh, I could probably dismount. The person I want to talk to is right here. Hey! Your hunt of those elusive and fearsome creatures was successful. I am impressed. I did not really expect you to succeed, but I am pleased that you have. Perhaps we are equals in the hunt after all, and even better, the villages of Yondershire are made safer by your efforts, which is the most important thing. Well done, she says. Well, thank you. Happy to help. All right, and then we have a net to return. So why don't I take us to No Bottle? Sounds good. Oh, and you know what? I didn't even do my Hobbit gift today. Let's take a look at that. Zoom. And then we will open our Hobbit gift. So every day you can get a silver Hobbit gift for free. This is everybody. So I got a potion pot that has 50 virtue experience and a simple rally horn. That's funny. I have kind of a stack of those rally horns I don't need anymore, but that's okay. It's nice. All right, so we'll take the road here because it looks like where we're going is on the other side of the bridge. So yeah, I'm still kind of getting to know Yondershire. Like in the Shire, I have spent so much time there. Now, part of it is because of festivals, because there's usually something going on in the Shire during a festival. So I often spend time in the Shire for festivals. Also, there's Green Dragon Friday, so I've gotten very comfortable and very familiar with like the Green Dragon and Bywater and all of that. But I haven't spent as much time in Yondershire. Now, we did have a Green Dragon Friday during the last festival because there's so much going on in Bywater with the fat mayor and people coming in and yelling at the guy behind the counter and all that stuff at the Green Dragon. So during that festival, we kind of take the show on the road. And we did go to No Bottle and went to the pub there. So that was kind of cool. It was the Fox and Fiddle. And so I went ahead and played a couple fiddle songs because I'm like, Fox and Fiddle, you have to, right? So that was neat. So now I have a little bit more familiarity with that specific pub. So I feel like I need to be involved in more, social times in these various pubs. But right now we are, as I mentioned before, still in Dutch class. So, for example, this is our, sorry, baby. This is our current book, and it's a bit thick. But we are getting close to the end. It's we're in hoofdstuk Aleph out of 13, denk ik. So we have done, we're through chapter 11 out of 14. So we're really getting close to the end, and then we'll have one big test. And oh my gosh, that's gonna be crazy, but hopefully it'll go well. And then I'm taking a break from Dutch classes for a while to try and just let it soak in and get better. And wow, that's amazing, says Salmon Fire. What, the thickness of that book? It is amazing. I'm like bulking up every time. It's kind of crazy. Well, we live in the Netherlands, and so that is part of it that I want to, both of us want to get better at being able to speak Dutch and interact and read, maybe the newspaper or listen to the news on TV, those sorts of things, just daily life, right? So we're working on that, and so it'll be about a year of classes that we will have taken, and and the way they do it is there's like language levels. So there's the A1 level, which is basically like you can basically, ask a stranger to point you to the nearest grocery store or, things like that, like super basic stuff that allows you to kind of get around in society, but you are not really having conversations, or you can tell basic stuff like, I live in so and so, I am from this place, like those early things that you learn. Where is the restroom or the toilet? Où est la biblioteca? So you kind of get those early stuff. So we did that, and that was 9 weeks. That's a 9 week. Each one of these is a 9 week class. And then the second one is A2, and that's where you're able to form some sentences, get around society a little easier. You could probably get and give directions like, hey, you want to go down this street, turn right. It's at the end of the road. Go straight, go straight through. Learning those kinds of words and how to use them in a sentence, how to make a sentence. How to ask questions. So A2 kind of gets you a little bit further on, and you can get around in society a little bit better, but like you're not going to have conversations about deep, complicated subjects. So then the next one is B1, which at the end of B1, you should be able to, I wouldn't say fluent, like that's more of a C1 or a C2 level, I think. But you should be able to do some pretty complex sentences. Well, not like hugely complex sentences, but things that where you're moving verbs around, or you can talk about past tense, and in a couple different ways. Like I went to the store, I was going to the store, I have been to the store. Those are all different, right, in English, and so those kinds of things also in Dutch. So those are some of the things we've been working on. And just, where do you put, not participiums, that's a verb form. The Vorsätzels, like the on and of and to and, all those prepositions. A lot of words kind of have prepositions implied, as you do in English, like, I listen to music. So you have a similar thing in Dutch, but you just don't know that necessarily instinctively. So learning those things is where we're at. So that whole book is B1. That's just one book for B1. Like our A1 or my A2 book, it's the same amount of time, I suppose. But so this was my getting us from A1 to A2 book. So it's about that big, and then all of, from A2 to B1 is this, so a slight difference. So it's been an intensive year, really. We've had small breaks. We had a 6-week break over the summer because all of Europe kind of shuts down and people go on holiday and whatnot. So we too had time off. Oops. But actually, I'm going to leave that out because I probably have things I need to do while B4 is streaming. So it feels like it never ends. It really is. Like, this is one of the few things that, I do during the week that is not Dutch class. It seems like everything else is just like, constant. But yeah, so that's what we're working on in general right now. So once that's done, I have more brain space, hopefully, to do other things. But yeah, good times, right? Maybe I can get back to more knitting and crocheting. I keep buying yarn. I did put myself on a yarn hiatus, like a fast for a little while. I'm not buying anymore. So this scarf that I'm working on, I showed a little bit earlier. Let's see, which way is the front? This one. So this scarf that I'm working on is kind of a replacement for another scarf that I have that got a hole in it that I still need to fix. So my thing is though, is I've got all this really cool yarn and I want to use it, but I'm like, I can't really justify taking too much time for that right now while we've still got the other thing going on. So, but yeah, so I'm already trying to make a list of the things that I want to do when Dutch classes are over at the end of October. And that way, when I'm then in November going, wow, I could do anything. What do I want to do? I don't know what I want to do. I'm just going to lay here. Maybe I'll be a little bit more focused. So y'all can come back in November and be like, hey, you said you wanted to do X. I'll be like, oh, that's a good idea. All right, so tying the knots. This is the woman who wanted the net. And she says, you returned. You were gone for so long that I forgot you were even doing something for me. She glances up at the sky. You're lucky, to be able to travel so far and to see so many things, to make your own future. She's in charge of one of these towns. Her mom was in charge and now she's in charge. She's silent for a moment and then sighs and then smiles brightly at you. Now then, where is this net that took you so long to procure? We have grand plans to enact. Okay. She says, I bet you're wondering what we are going to trap in this net. I shall tell you. Not yet, however. Firstly, we need to set this trap with the best bait possible. One of Finola Whortleberry's meat pies. Now then, everybody knows that the best pies are Finola, Wolterberries, Wild Boar, and apple pies. I need to check in with our local bounders, so while I do that, go on ahead and get some Yonder Boar meat and some apples. You can pick up some fallen apples near the trees, and Yonder Boar also like the apples, so they might be nearby. Bring the meat and the apples to Finola, and then meet me up the road with a pie in hand. Okay, well, I think we might leave that for another day, because I'm thinking you are getting close to ready. Yeah? Okay, cool. Well, if you have any last minute questions or comments or thoughts or anything, go ahead and drop that into the chat right now. Otherwise, I will start wrapping up. Well, I'm going to start wrapping up either way. So let's see. So today is what I say, the 13th. So Shipwrecked Mariner is coming up this weekend. So if that's something you've been looking forward to, you've got that coming up. You've got Bilbo's birthday next week, Buried Treasure event the following week, Hobnanigans next week after that, and then October 12th we get into Harvest Math. Yay! So very excited about that. That'll be cool. I do enjoy running around that haunted shire, the haunted burrow. I find that a delightful little thing to do. So, and the cosmetics from that festival are so good. There were some cosmetics that they put out a few years ago that were just like stellar. I think I have them all. Let's see, wardrobe. What's it called? It's called, is it Harvest? Nope, it's not Harvest. Let me look at upper body. And, oh yes, one of my most favorite streams this autumn. It's such a fun festival. It really is so good. I wish there was a way to sort these by like where you got them. Like that'd be really cool. Oh, it's the Autumn Sage. I think that's the one. The Vestments of the Autumn Sage. Yes. Look at that. That thing in itself is just gorgeous. And it dyes up so well. So I dyed mine, I think it's Shire Peach. And check that out. Like, it just has this really cool set of contrast that matches really well with the leaves. And it's just like this silky color. I love it. I just love it. I think I wear that like all the time. Yeah, Shire Peach. And then I did the hat and everything else also in Shire Peach. So it's I like that one. But it dyes up so well. Like you can pick any color and it just, it holds the color really, really nicely. So they did a great job with that one, with that set of cosmetics. So, okay. I think it dyes so well. It's like a Breland Brigand. Oh, snap. I like it. All right. So I think I'm going to wrap it up. B4 will be on here in just a moment. And he will be, as I mentioned, talking about Lotro plugins. There's a lot of cool plugins that I use and that he uses, and he can talk about that. And he'll be probably working on Festival Buddy, huh? Oh, Minstrel Buff. Oh, and he can tell you why. Okay, well, awesome. Thank you, everybody, for coming along with the stream, and I will see you next week. And in the meantime, make sure to stay in touch with that Hobbit side of your heart. All right, everybody, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Bye-bye.